Hey Nick, how are you doing? What up, my dude? We're going to be using Sprite, Photoshop, Tilesetter, Audacity, GameMaker Studio 2 today, but I will jump into Godot and RPG Maker MV from time to time. We released, first of all, how's it going everybody? I'm Drifty from Driftwood Gaming. Yesterday, I released two games. The one that I finished yesterday which was Spikefaller, which was this game. I actually have it open on this other menu here. Right here. Let's play it for a second. Let me mute the music. I turned off the desktop audio anyway. And it has sound effects and music. We did all that stuff. So this game got released yesterday on itch. I got a good response, so I also released a game that I made a couple years ago called Space Driftwood and put that on itch as well, because I figured why not? I made the game, why not release it, even though it's a couple years old now. And I'll take a look at that game next. And so today, I'm thinking, well, I've released the thing I've been working on for a week. What am I going to put out now? What am I going to do for my live streams? Well, I'm obviously just going to start a new project. So last night, I started a new project just to get it expedited for when I, jump into the project. It's got somewhere to go. I thought of a name because nobody wants to watch me think of a name. So I gave it a name and made a title screen for it, a very basic title screen like we did with this one, which will change once we get a better one. I want to keep the scope of it narrow. Last night I wrote down on a notepad like some ideas of what I wanted to do with it and some things I wanted to improve on. So as soon as I die here, have I not died yet? Wait, why do I have 10 lives? Did I restart and then not die? Yeah, it must have been it. There we go. Anyway, that's this game. So what I'm going to be doing is making a turn-based RPG for PC on GameMaker Studio 2. And I want to keep it pretty minimalistic and basic, right? Alright, let's close out of this. Bring this over here. Also need to turn down snare in my headphones. Jeez. I'm listening to lo-fi hip-hop right now, so that's why I have the desktop audio muted. But this is the new project. We're going to call it Driftwood Dragons. And I also entered into the weekly game jam. I'm going to enter it for next week. So I think, maybe not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, I might start a new project again. But this will be an idea for something to work on. Because I don't know what the theme of the next game jam is. So I'm going to be entering in the weekly game jam on itch in 2 days, or a day and a half or something it starts. And yeah, so I want to do that. I want to do more game jams. They seem like a lot of fun, and my experience with game jams is that I host them, and then I don't really get to participate very much. So, hello Game Addict Studio, how you doing? It's been a long time when I have checked your license. Okay. Well, cool, man. How are you doing? Nick says, I want to make an RPG soon, but I can't draw. I need practice drawing. Well, you don't really need to know how to draw to make an RPG. If you use RPG Maker, there's a whole bunch of built-in stuff that'll get you going. Make a few free games and brush up your skills. Once you feel like you're up to it, use Sprite. And then with Sprite, you don't need to know how to draw. Let's make a tile set. I don't know. What about if we do 16 by 16? So I'm going to use Tilesetter, and I'm going to make a quick little tile set with Sprite and Tilesetter to get me going. I'll pick a palette. I really recommend Sprite for creating your characters and stuff. It's really a good tool. It's really, really nice. I think I'll use these 4 brown ones and then maybe some green ones up here. So what I'm going to do here is split this in half and draw a line across. And then I'll use a fill tool, go like this. Okay, wait, that's one too large. Let me make I can just use the line tool and go here. Boom. There we go. I want this side to be the dirt that just kind of fills in. And then I'll spray paint some, let's bring this down a bit. Let's do 8 or 5, sure, why not, in the size of 1. So I'll undo that and go like this. There we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like that. And then also, whoa. I don't know, I can move those around, that's interesting. There, we got like a packed dirt type of thing. This will be kind of our wall. And then I'll go back to, I guess, the pencil tool. And let's use this and kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up a little bit and down and end on 6 as well so that it kind of matches up like that. And then I'm going to play around with the colors here. Yeah, Sprite is really good for making pixel art stuff. And then we'll go like this, 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 and then put like some green grass on top, maybe more like that. Should I leave a transparency tile here? Or should I not do that? If I go like that. These greens aren't super great for grass anyway. Let's go like that. Alright, let me put this down. Hello world, hello, your new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hannah King, hello, how are you doing? Ekaterina, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Cooler Nimbo, hello, hello. Can you make game like Just Cause? I don't know. Nick says he's got RPG Maker MV on Steam, summer sale, probably going to pick up Sprite someday. Yeah, you can get RPG Maker for as low as like 20 bucks, which I recommend picking it up if you see it on sale, if you don't already have it. Let's save this sprite as, I've made a bunch of these already, but we'll call this Grass Tiles for D&D. I'm going to just give it a different name. Grass Tiles 01 for D&D. This is for Driftwood and Dragons. My GMS2 RPG that we're going to make. It's going to be really low scope. You know about Pixel Maker MV? I used Pixel Maker MV on the demo, and I seen my wife use it. It's really buggy. I think in the Japanese version it runs a lot better, but the English version is even in the tutorial there's tons of bugs. I'm not too happy with Pixel Maker MV. I love RPG Maker MV. Currently mainly using Game Maker Studio 2 and currently looking into learning more Godot. But still using Photoshop and Sprite and Audacity and all the other tools that's usually go-to stuff. Alright, so let's also export this as a PNG so that we can load it into TileSetter. Do not have TileSetter running, so let me run TileSetter real quick. We just go TileSetter. And this was the last one I made. I was messing around with Godot and I made like a higher resolution tile set. But, I mean, it worked, but it took a little while. This is 16 by 16, so I'm going to go ahead and right click and import an image. And the one we just created was... I hope I saved it in the right file. Did I put it in here? Let's sort by date. that should put it, there it is. Okay, so let's zoom in. All we have to do in Tile Setter is to select it, and then it stores it as a source. But we want to blob this image, so let's go ahead and delete this and right-click this and say, build the borders of a blob. So this is our built-in blob tool. And then we'll select the edges, the other 16 by 16 image that we picked. And so this gives us the wall edges. And we have like our basic little tile set. I'm going to zoom out and select a space in front of it. Like you see how I selected the empty space right here, because I'm going to be importing this into GMS2, and the 0, 0 axis of the tile of the image has to be used as transparent. So whatever you put here, you won't be able to like draw with. So we're going to go ahead and just go with a blank one. And let me scroll over here and export this image as this for D&D. I'm going to call it Grass Tiles 1 Blob for D&D and save that as a PNG. Now that we've got that, we'll go to our GMS2 here. Hey Johnny Spam, how you doing? Noob Gamer, how you doing? Killer Confidence, hello, hello, hello. Blackwell Gaming, good to see you. Hannah King. I want to learn about online multiplayer systems for RPG Maker MV. It would be cool if Katakawa launched that as an internal plugin. It would make MV 10 times better. Yeah, but it's, I mean, gosh, that's a lot of people's like dreams, hopes and dreams. And if they wanted to sell a lot of copies of the engine, they would definitely do something like that. But I'll tell you what, it's not easy to do that because you got to get some good net code. And you can do it if you put like some kind of like maybe node.js, JS node code in there, or even let it read PHP. It's already using JS, so you'd probably stick with JS. I don't know. It's tough, and it's easy to hack. So I wouldn't just try to make an online RPG with RPG Maker. If you want to make an MMO, you should probably use a different engine. Seriously. I love, and this is coming from somebody who's got 300 plus RPG Maker MV tutorials. Alright, so I made this last night in Photoshop, temporary background. Hey Werewolf, how you doing? And I made a couple of objects, not very much. I did a simple draw text object. So this is just to let the player know they have to press enter to continue, even though it doesn't do anything right now. And then I imported the particle system that I created years ago and been updating in all my projects. Commented out the things that this game won't use because it was they were created using sprites in mind. But we'll also do the same thing in here and replace like the name of this sprite with a new one. So we'll create our own sprites to get this type of effect. And we'll have it do particle effects using sprites, in-game sprites, as the particles themselves. Adnan Yosuf says, can we make 3D games in RPG Maker MV? Well, I know it can't be possible. Have you heard of, what is it called? There's a plugin that makes games look a little bit more 3D, but it really just kind of raises the sprite, so it's not necessarily 3D. Have you heard of Smile Game Builder, Adnan? But honestly, if you want to mess around with 3D, learn Godot or Unity is the most popular. Mode 7, thank you, Skepsis. It's Mode 7 plugin. It makes it look really cool. Also, okay, let me read what I have for the ideas for this project. I wrote it down on a text pad last night. So this is a Game Maker Studio 2 turn-based RPG for PC. I want to implement some sort of dice rolling mechanics. I want to do a save to file, load from file system. I want to define a clear naming convention and eliminate all the underscores, which we're starting to do. Of course, my particle system is exempt from this because it's too much. Doesn't necessarily need to. But the scripts that I'm calling actually have gone with a new naming convention. I want to include the title screen and a tutorial, in-game tutorials for it. I want a very narrow scope with only one party member. I would like grid movement, but when I wrote that down, I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to do grid movement. I watched some tutorials on it, and I'm like, if I really wanted to do grid movement all the way down to like replicating typical SNES style and RPG Maker style, like I would just use RPG Maker. So I probably won't do grid movement, and if I do, it'll be my own half-baked kind of grid movement. Drift, did you finish the series, the Click RPG? Did you finish? You know what? Let's find it. Hold on. I didn't finish it completely. No, I don't know. I don't know why. I kind of just. Oh wait, I do know why. I had some crazy stuff happen in my life and dropped everything I was doing. Really. Let's see. What did I call it? What did I call it? I had quite a few little mini projects going. I wish I would have named my projects better in the past. 9918? What is this one? A blank project. Okay, open project. It wasn't that. Adventures of Driftwood, was this it? No. No, this wasn't it either. Camera and views tutorial. This is one I downloaded. Okay, no. Just messing around with some netcode. How far did I get with this? Okay, yeah, sending packets using Node.js. Yeah, this is using Node.js to try to make a like MMO type of feature, netcode. It's no game, it's just like the netcode, and it's not complete, and it's buggy, so I just kind of dropped it. Sending packets is, you have to decide how much data you're going to send, and then you have to send that data in a sequence, and then you have to have an encoder and a decoder, so you need a client and you need a server. And I learned a lot just messing around with this. Drawing images tutorial. Yeah, it wasn't this one either. Dwarmies? This isn't my game, is it? What is this? These are my images. Nothing. Doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. Okay, whatever. I don't know what I was messing with there. The GMS2 RPG was one of them. Inventory things. Was I trying to make a custom inventory here? I think I was. Where did I get with this one? Here, mouse scroll scratching my brain. Oh yeah, this was what I was making, trying to do like I really don't remember what the heck I was doing. Something to do with like, when I hover over with the mouse, it shows the text box popping up. It's so easy to do in Godot, and it's so hard to do in GMS2, right? I'm going to be doing stuff like this in Godot in the future. But yeah, anyway, that was that project. I'm taking donations for a new mouse. I've had it for 5 years. It's a CM Storm mouse. Learning GMS in February 2017. Let's see what this one is. Anubis. Do I press enter? What do I press? How do I move? How did I move my guy? How did I move my guy? This is super buggy. This was me messing around in 2017. Nothing's moving. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. March 2017. What is this project? Uh-oh, don't crash on me. I'm trying to load games too fast and run them. It's probably all bugged. Is this why I ditched the project? Because it just started crashing? It says it's building, but it's kind of frozen. Is it that big of a project? It's only got 2 rooms. Doesn't look that big. It's probably just buggy code. Oh, it's working. Oh, I remember. I was trying to make like a cool intro thing, but instead of like, it doesn't look terrible, but the problem is it's like a huge image, and it's a lot of huge images. It's like 15 huge images. It's completely unoptimized. Pressed enter to start. Must have been learning how to do stuff like this for the first time. In GMS2, right? Because GMS2 isn't that old. Game Maker's been around for a long time, but Game Maker Studio 2, you know, it hasn't been out that long. I think 3 years or something like that. Anyway, that's it. That was this game. Okay. Let's open a new project. Hey, Slammy. I've been super busy, so I have yet to play the new LOD version, but I'll have time to stream it and learn the new route in the next week or two. Awesome! I can't wait, dude. It's for those of you who don't know Slammy, Slammy's a speedrunner. He speedruns the old Legend of Driftwood. He's got the current world record on it. I think it's like 29 minutes or something ridiculous. But I've made it a lot harder and longer in version 1.62. So I expect you to take at least an hour. There's a couple of things you can exploit, Slammy. I'll throw a hint your way. The mining system, I currently changed it, but I haven't re-uploaded because I'm going to keep that in until I do a bigger patch. I don't want to do small patches. I'm only going to do like huge patches every 5 months or 6 months or something like that. So there's like, it's not really a bug, it's just a design kind of flaw where your mining system, enemies take damage from mining tools and stuff, and as you raise that variable high enough, you deal a lot of crazy damage to the enemies, and the bosses are not resistant to it at all. So, I mean, but it does take a long time to build up your mining level. So, anyway. If you expect at least an hour, that means you're aiming for 45 minutes. No, it's going to take you an hour, Slammy. Because I think it takes a normal person 2 to 3 hours if they're trying to go through it quick. I can't even beat it in less than like 2.5, 3 hours. So I'm thinking it's going to take, if you find some crazy tricks, I'm thinking it'll take you an hour. Otherwise, it'll take you 2. But let's see what happens. I think 1 to 2 hours is good for a speed run. Like if a lot of games have like they're trying to beat sub 1, sub 2 around the, so anyway, hopefully you enjoy it. That's important too. Hopefully you like the changes. The game I'm talking about is available for download and links in the description below. It's on itch. It's called Legend of Driftwood, and it's free to play. I've been messing with it for like 3 years now, and I'm actually really happy with where it's at. I want to do more on it. But, you know, it's on the back burner right now again because I spent a few months bringing it back up to speed. Speaking of games on itch, this game, Space Driftwood, I also released yesterday. I made it, like, back in 2017. But all I did was put it on my website, and it didn't get much traffic. So I put it on itch yesterday when I put Spikefaller on itch as well. And this game I spent a little bit of time working on. It's obviously needs some work. But you fly around on this background, and spaceships spawn, and these ships try to run into you, and the bigger ones shoot lasers at you, and you have a health and an energy bar. And I mean, if I would redo this, I would do it much differently than I did. And you kill ships, and they have a chance to drop these little. There's music and there's sound effects, but I've got that muted so that I can listen to music without getting copyrighted. Um, and you can shoot bombs. These bombs can kill you too, by the way. I really like this game, actually. I might do something more like this later on as another game jam or something. I'm going to enter in the weekly game jam. Oh, that's how when you die, I don't have a game over screen. I need to get a game over screen. But I also have more to it. It's not just that. There's a space station. And you see how we're dealing 10 damage every time we hit with our laser? Oh, just got wrecked. If you go in here, you can press spacebar to leave it. But inside this, you can spend a mineral to repair your ship. And you can spend 5 to increase your laser damage. So, I mean, it's like a rudimentary level up your ship by increasing the power of your laser beam. The bomb kind of stays the same. Like, I could expand on this and pick this back up, but I would rather recreate it from scratch if I'm going to do something more like this. I think the thing that I liked the most was building the AI for ships, because if you pay attention, the bigger ships operate differently. The smaller ones are little kamikaze ships and they try to run into you. But the bigger ones, they get within a distance and then they fire at you and they kind of strife in that same direction. So they're not trying to kamikaze into you. They want to shoot you. They also have a higher chance to drop stuff. Let's go and repair, if we can make it to the... Oh no, I missed it somewhere. Okay, so I can spend a mineral, and I repaired my ship, and then I've got a couple minerals left. Let's upgrade again, and now our lasers are going to, should do 12 damage. Yep. If I were to upgrade this again, if I was to remake this, I would do something more like how the HP and EVE Online and games like that are handled, where you have like a shield, and then you also have a armor, and you have a hull, like a structure. And I would have like all 3 of those. So you have to take down the target shield first, and then you have to destroy the armor, and then you have to, once those are both destroyed, it starts damaging the structure. And to repair your shield, it would be like a slow recharge, and then the armor you would have to like dock to get it repaired, and the same with structure. And then the player would have options how they want to upgrade their ship. Do they want to invest in a faster shield recharge rate, or do they just want more armor, or do they want to like increase the structure? Anyway, that's it for that demonstration. This game is available for download. If you click the link in the description, it takes you to Legend of Driftwood, but you can click on my name Drifty on itch.io and look at all the games I've uploaded. Currently I have 3 up there. I have Spikefaller, which I was playing at the beginning of this episode, and then I have Legend of Driftwood, which is what Slammy was referring to, and then I have Space Driftwood, which is what you just seen. Friendly Cosmonaut has a lot of good movement videos on YouTube. Skepsis for what engine? For Game Maker? Is GMS2 hard to learn? Nah, it's pretty easy. I think it's a good first one to jump into. Coding in Game Maker Studio 2 is easier than like coding in RPG Maker even, because RPG Maker MV is using JS, it's using JavaScript. So like making the script calls is more complicated than like just writing inside a create or step event of an object. The most complicated thing with every engine is just learning how to use the engine, not like, you don't really need to know how to code very much, because it's like you just got to figure out how to use the engine and how it works, and how objects hold different events, and events tell the game when to do things, and then you can look it up, like, okay, I want this character to move across the screen when I press a button. Okay, so you have to figure out, how does it check for when you press a button? Well, you make an object, you put the object in a room, which is like your scene, or your map if you're using RPG Maker. You drag the object into the room, and in the object you make a step event, and the step event is going to check every frame of the game, and you can tell it to do whatever you want. For example, firing your lasers, we're saying if we're firing the left mouse button and our laser cooldown isn't on, then fire the button and all that stuff. But he is not just slam, he is slammy. More GMS today? Yeah, we're gonna work on a new project. Nick says, let me join your Discord server real quick. Cool. Yeah, link to the Discord is in the description below. Love to have you. If you just joined, Nick, I should see your name in white, and then I can give you roles so that you'll be able to like post links and talk about your games and stuff. I don't see it, bro. That mouse, though. Anyway, let's close this project. What other... we were messing around with a click project, I remember. Never-ending prototypes. Was this it? No, this is something smaller. Let's see if this one runs. What is this one? This might have been a prototype for Space Driftwood. Like, I might have been like, I should do something like this. And then I started a new one. Okay. Text box tutorial? Has nothing. Okay. This didn't get very far. I must have started it and I was like, I don't want to do this right now, and closed it. Tuts from 2018? What is this? It's got nothing in it. Great. Got a lot of blank projects. Driftbot. This was one that I actually spent some time working on. Did I get errors in here? Hold up. Let's play Driftbot. Oh, you looked it up, Joni? The name of the Click RPG is Miscellaneous Tutorials and Refreshers. I remember this. I was learning particle effects, I think for, maybe not the very first time, but like actually getting to use more of them. And like, oh, let's see what I can do. I can make an image spin, float, up, change transparency, have particle effects. And I did do a text box in here. Welcome to Driftbot. Create oxygen generators to make the planet habitable. Move the Driftbot with WASD. Gather fuel to power the oxygen generators. Left-click on the generators to add fuel you've collected. Press spacebar to place oxygen generators. Press escape to close this text. Right. So pressing left-click doesn't seem to do anything. I don't think it does anything. Just plays particle effects. Right-click like attracts all of the things. You know, I don't really know what I was doing with this project. I was more or less just learning how to do stuff, and I went crazy with particle effects. I'm like, just do more stuff. So I gather materials, I press spacebar to spin 10 of them, and then I spin materials to fuel them, and then these things produce oxygen, and there's a timer that shows the current year and the year. I guess I could put this one on itch too. I mean, it's kind of like very niche and like kind of confusing to understand what you do. You have a timer, and the object is to get the oxygen level high enough on the planet so that when your civilization arrives on the planet in year 4117, then it's habitable or something. And you can see the oxygen level on the right-hand side. And as these bars fill up, they release oxygen into the atmosphere, and it raises the oxygen level. But you have to gather these materials to refuel them. So left-click refuels these things, right-click attracts them. But then I was also like, that's kind of boring. You just kind of go around and place generators and stuff, and then fuel them up. I mean, so that's the object. But it was more of a learning experience, how to do all this stuff. And it's an actual game, but it's not much of a game really. Like it's kind of like my first take at a simulation type game. Just press spacebar and you place one down if you have the materials for it, and you just keep them fueled. But there's another way to win. I also put in checks and balance so you can't waste it. It won't let you spend one until you can get the most out of it. The other thing was it has a platformer built into it. So this little greenhouse right here, gosh, look at the artwork. You go in here, and I went crazy with particle effects in this game. So the bullets don't actually do anything. And this little guy, if he hits you, it's game over. And you completely lose and have to start over. So like, that's kind of stupid. I shouldn't have put that in there. Like, it doesn't make sense, right? It's two different things. I should have put both of these projects in their own project. Like, they're two different ideas. So it's like a little platformer thing. And then this takes you back out. But when you come back out, it gives you 50 materials. So like, that kind of jump starts. Like, you can beat the game really quick if you just play through the same stage instead of waiting for materials. You just do this one again, and it's the same stage. And you would think that if you have the star, when that thing hits you, it doesn't kill you. But it still does. It's like not a complete game, really. It's just like a bunch of random ideas. Boom, now I have 50 more. Boom, 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 boom. And let's fuel these up. Let's get a bunch of these little orbs that are floating around. And then fuel these up. Make sure that they don't run out of fuel. Boom, 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 boom. The entire, like, okay, I think I know why I put that thing in there. Like, it's like, the game needs a lose condition. Well, the lose condition is the timer runs out and you don't have the oxygen high enough. That's a lose condition. And that could have been enough. But I was like, well, if I'm going to include a platformer, I need to have, and look, it's still buggy. Yeah, I'm not going to put this one on itch because it's not a cohesive idea. It's just a bunch of learning things. So it's still trying to play a particle system animation while it's switching, and something's probably a layer issue. I don't really care to mess with it anymore. It was just a crazy idea. And I did learn a whole lot while I was making it, and that was the point of it. Anyway, somebody, Joni, Misc tutorials and refreshers. This one. This was a clicker RPG. Yeah, this was the one that I was working on, and then I kind of just dropped. Let's see where it's at right now. Unnecessary font change. Press any key to continue. Whoa. If I press D, oh, I'm taking damage. That's a debug. Oh yeah, R restarts the game. Okay. I would definitely take out those controls before I release it. But we have a attack, defense, magic attack, gold counter, health, stamina, experience, level. Let's go to town. And in town, if we click, it just plays a little particle effect. In town, what do? We can rest. You've been fully healed. We can explore. And we can use an item. Okay, anyway. In here, I attack, and it shows the HP on the side. Okay, okay. I have to flee because I'm gonna die. Let me rest. Item? Oh yeah. Oh, this is where I kind of like. I was trying to make an item menu, and I did get the box to show up, and I got the item to show up too. But the pop-up text didn't quite work right. In fact, it seems to be bugged out. If I go explore and click item, it's still bugged out. It doesn't do anything. But yeah, this is an enemy. It's a sign. We can use our spell, and it burns it. It takes our stamina to cast it. And then we can just slice it. Oh. We've got a level up. So is Driftwood and Dragons a platformer? No. Driftwood and Dragons is going to be a RPG similar to what we got going on here, but a little bit different. yeah, I want to restart. I don't want to use this super high res, but it's like basically this kind of idea. And we did get experience and stuff, so that was cool. This one isn't like anywhere ready to be released, nor do I want to finish it. So this is another like defunct project that won't get put on itch or anything. I've got a bunch of these. Only games that have like a lose and win condition and like has like a cohesive idea and it's not buggy and crashy will I put up. And I've got 3 of those right now. What else do we have in here? Lots of different stuff. A tower defense idea. Did I actually do anything with this? Let's see. I think my baby's crying. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. My wife T is home. She went to go drop somebody off at an appointment, and I didn't know they were back yet. It was just kind of disturbing. Lily is the final boss. Now, I don't know what I was doing with this tower defense game. Yeah, I won't have to take care of baby right now. Luckily, I have a lovely wife who is helping me with that while I work, and I do the same thing while she's at work. Well, I went through a bunch of different projects. I didn't open all of them, but I don't really need to open all of them. Let's see, what do I have over here? So let's just close this one. Yeah, we're going to close it. And we have a couple other of them open already. So this was the Spike Faller. I like this game. I'm really happy with this recent one that we were working on. Let me mute it. I mean, you guys can't hear sound right now anyway. But it's a simple idea. You fall down. I guess it's sort of like a platform survival thing. It's not really a platforming game. It's not really a survival game, but it's kind of in those lanes where you move around with you move a character back across, because it's more of like a falling simulator. I've got a float buff in here. I have a speed buff that will let you move back and forth quickly. I've got a bunch of custom sound effects that you guys can't hear because I want to hear my some music. Oh, and then when you hit a spike, we get this fart noise and the character explodes. We've got sprite animations and we have particle animations. Simple game. I've allowed it to be full screenable, even though it doesn't like go at like actually full screen. It still makes it a little bit bigger and easier to see, so you can do that. I'm really happy with this project, and hopefully it gets some downloads. All right, that's enough reminiscing on. I'm gonna just leave this up over here on another tab. So now here we are in Driftwood and Dragons, and this is what this game's gonna look like. I have a little splash screen which I'm gonna disable while we're working on it. I started this project last night when I made the thumbnail for today's live stream, and I was like, I just want to put a little bit in the project so when I get it started on the live stream, like I have like, it's not a completely blank project. So I made this background, I imported the particle system, and I created a draw text so that we can see the text here, and I transferred over the draw text shadow script that we keep changing and updating, and basically I got this from gmlscripts.com. And then I've added a few things so that it's when you're using it, it's clear what you need to put in next. I've imported the particle system, but changed the naming convention of the way I'm going to do everything, And I basically added the one sprite and renamed the map, and then set this to be the background layer of the map, and put the two objects particle system on here, and then I created a couple of particle layers, and that's all I've done so far. So I've created a new tile set earlier today on stream with a sprite, and then I used tile setter to make this. And now we'll go into our game. Enter doesn't do anything yet. It's just like pressing enter will go to the next scene. I did want to have a title screen and in-game tutorial, so I did the title screen. That's one thing. We'll update the art for it before this is over. Another thing I did, you can't see it here, but I actually created an icon for it this time, so when it's deployed as an executable, it will have its own icon. I could probably show that, but I'll just leave that up to when... I'll just leave that for people who download it and see the custom icon. It's got a log, and it just says D&D on it. It's going to be like some kind of parody game or something. What was I doing? What was I going to do? Oh, tile set, right. So let's go to sprites, and let's add... oops, I don't want to do that. Let's close this. I want to import an image. Let's go to Drive F. A sprite, and sort by date. This blob image that we created with tile setter and a sprite, we'll keep that how it is, and we'll call it S. I keep wanting to type underscore. We're going to eliminate underscores, and we'll call this grass blob tile set 01. You know what? I don't really need to say that. I can just say grass TS01. That works perfectly fine. And then I'll actually create it as a tile set, so I'll call this TS grass 01. And then I'll assign that sprite to it. And this part sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling to get it just right, but I don't think it'll be that difficult. We're going to click on Add Auto Tile, zoom in a little bit here with Control and middle mouse. And I'm going to click on Add a 16 tile set, so that I can use an auto tile thing. Maybe you can use the systems on these to save time. Yeah, Joni Spam, I plan to reuse the ideas. That's why I started with the particle system that I've transported from game project to next project to next project, and I just take it into all my other projects. It's not like I couldn't remake them, but it's kind of like I don't really need to reinvent the wheel. If I'm doing a game jam, I won't bring it in probably. I'll probably just create it from scratch because I won't need all those anyway. But if I'm just creating a project for my own itch page, then why not bring the stuff that you already made into the game? Also, the draw text shadow, you could just get that for free. What type of game is this going to be? It's going to be an RPG. Not like a RPG Maker RPG, but just like an RPG. I'm not sure 100%. You know how it goes when you start a project, you're still conceptualizing. I know what I have written down. I've already said it. Dice rolling mechanics. I want a save to file, load to file system. I'm using a clear naming convention, no underscores. Make a title screen. I need in-game tutorials. I want a very narrow scope, only one party member. Potentially grid movement, but I don't know for sure. I want custom sound effects, background music, and that's basically what I have written down. And so that gives me a starting point, and I can add to it. So let's create our auto tile with our custom tile set that we just created. This one would be that, and then right here would be that, and then, oh no, wait, I already messed up. It's that one, isn't it? Hold up. Start over. This one, this one, this one, this one, that one, that one. That's going to be that one. And then this is going to be This is the tricky part, trying to figure out, well, what does this thing mean? You know, what does that actually mean? And then a blank one. Okay. So let's name this with F2 and call it AT, no underscores, grass 01. And then I'll create a map. So let's make a new room. Let's create a room. I've decided that the resolution I want to use is, it's going to be 16 by 9 but low res, so it'll be 640 by 360. So that means I don't have to make this room 640 by 360, but the viewport and stuff is going to be that. So let's enable viewport ports. I might want to custom design the camera actually. So let's see, we'll turn that to be visible, and we'll say 640 by 360. 640, 360. Excuse me. Oh my god. The room, we could actually make the map whatever size we want. Like, it's kind of arbitrary. How big do you want it? 1600 by 900? Suppose is fine. So this is what the camera is going to see, and it's going to zoom into that. But this is like the whole map. So we'll make a player, and we'll have the camera follow the player. But we don't have a player yet, so it doesn't know what to follow. We also don't have a background. We don't have a tile set or anything. But I think I'm going to make this not a platformer, so it'll be more like you press up and you go up on the screen instead of like jumping. There's no gravity necessarily here. Turn-based, ARPG, SRPG. I'm not sure, DocWeez. We're going to find out, really. I'm not in a complete box. I haven't put the game in a complete box yet. Let's give it a name. We'll call it R Starting Town. Or starting. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Starting Town. And what we'll do is add a tile layer. So let's go here and add a tile layer. And we'll call this ground. We'll just call it ground. And then we'll select the tile set, the grass tile set. And I'm going to go to libraries and select this and zoom in to make sure that I've got it right. I almost do. You see where I got one of them wrong. So the little spot in the bottom left corner and the top right corner, two of them need to be replaced. So I see which ones they are. I'm going to replace them. The top right and the bottom left. Let's go back to the workspace. The top right and the bottom left. These two need to be reversed. So this is going to be the top right one. Like this. And then, gosh, I hate how it does that. And this is going to be the bottom left one, like that. And I think that's set now. I don't need to necessarily go through all of them and replace them. So I'm just going to click off of it. And then I will close this. Close our particle system. Close our draw text. Got nothing up there. Now let's redraw it. Hey, we fixed it. So we have a tile set now. Our basic tile set. So we'll make it so that this is our walls, actually, isn't it? This is our dirt wall. And then we can make a grass tile set that's kind of the opposite to this on a higher layer or below layer. I'm going to rename this to walls. And I'll add another tile below walls and call this one ground. Excuse me. So what's good about doing it like this is we can raise our brush size and select on our auto tile and just put like, basically paint the map. So if we look at it now, it'll just be a complete wall. I mean, I was going to use this as ground, to be honest, but it looks more like a wall. So we're going to use it as this is the wall. And we'll just go like that. I'll go back to A-Sprite, and we're going to do the same thing, but kind of reverse it. I'm curious to see how that's going to actually work. Hey, Super Boss Jason, how you doing? Sora, can you work on some projects now, please? Yeah, this was a while ago, but I feel you. I was going through a lot of different projects to just look at them. Let's keep working. Let's add another tile set for ground level. We'll make it more like the walking grass. So we're going to be walking on the grass. So let's do a new 32 by 16. Obviously, we've picked our resolution of sprite. Our tile sets are going to be 16 by 16, and kind of like that. And then our game res will be 640 by 360. It's easier to make stuff for lower res games. And I'm kind of a fan of that. I used to be like, oh, I want everything at least 1280, 720, but nah, now I'm happy with half of that resolution. Let's pick a random palette. There's lots of browns, but we want lots of greens in here. So I kind of picked it for the greens. Okay, let's do the same thing, but reverse it. Let's misdemeanor this. Okay. Put this green down, flip it, and reverse it. And we're going to take this green with a pencil and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we'll go 7 this time. We want to end on 7 as well, so we'll just do it like that. I guess we can like spray some green in here to give it a little bit of texture. This is what every tile is going to look like. So maybe we don't, well, it'll be one solid color if we didn't put some kind of coloring in it. I don't necessarily like this green. This one right there, let me take that out. And just put this color. Okay, let's just try it. Let's save it as. Can I sort here? Can I select by date? There's no like view by. That's fine. It's all alphabetical. we're going to use the same convention, and I'll call this 2. Export this as a PNG. Let's take this into Tile Setter, click a new, and then right click here and import the thing we just selected. Let's zoom in, select this so it saves it as a source, but then get rid of it. And then we'll blob this, and we'll select this as our border. And that's our walking tile. Like we walked around on that kind of. Doesn't look too bad. I'm alright with it actually. It looks pretty good. I do like it, yeah. Let's select it like this. Move over here, right click it, export. We'll call it that. Let's do the same thing over here. In our resources, we'll add a new sprite, import that big blob. We'll call it S, no underscores, grass, tile set 2. Simple enough. We'll go to tile sets and create a new tile set, select that sprite, and we'll call this TS grass 2. Looks good. We'll go to auto tiling. And the fun part, make a new 16. The more I do it, I mean, the better I understand how it works. Let's go like this, and then like this, and then like this, this, that, this, and then this, and then this, and then like this, and like this. I think I got it that time. Let's close it. For the walls, we'll select, oh no, not the walls. For the ground, we'll select this one and go to the auto tile. Let's rename it. Can't rename it there. We'll go here and click on auto tiling and rename this to AT Grass 02. Not that it matters, it's just like, that was part of the reason, one of the things I wrote down. I wanted to get all my naming conventions as good as possible, excluding the imported particle system that I'm just not going to rewrite. We'll go to our ground level and change it to this grass. And so the walls will be above the grass level. So if I draw the walls there, they're going to appear above the grass. So what I'm going to do is right click and get rid of all the walls for now. And then I'm just going to kind of coat the ground level with this. This is our base level. And I could put like a lake water level on top of it. Hey, I'm alright with that. We made it ourselves, you know, that's kind of cool. We made it right now and put it in the engine. I like that. And now our walls, we can lower this down a bit. And we can draw the walls like so. Do they look like walls? They just like kind of look like dirt patches, don't they? Like how they interact with each other though, because there's a layer of I wonder if I change the sprite so that it doesn't look like that, it looks more like a spike or a hill or a mountain. Let's go into a sprite and go here and, like, I don't know, how should I do this? I'll save it as something different though. I'll save it as the third one just because, in case I don't like the changes. I have multiple. Let's like draw on this solid one some kind of texture that looks good while being repeated, Was this the same tile set? It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Looks terrible. Hold up. That line will look bad. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just trying some stuff out. If we don't like it, we can always just not use it. That's the beauty. What are you guys listening to? I've got some lo-fi radio on right now. I just want it to sort of look like a mountain range, or at least simulate that it's a mountain that's going to be impassable, or a wall or something, you know. Hey Jasmine, how you doing? Welcome. What are you doing? I'm making some tile sets for our GMS2 RPG. Minecraft Dirt House unlocked. Doc Wee says, I'm interested in watching the base of this game form. Cool. Could you maybe add controls for the arrow keys, because some people are more comfortable using the arrow keys? Absolutely cool, sir. That's just a very easy thing to add. Once we make the player, I'll use WASD and up, down, left, right, and they'll both do the same thing. Yeah, we're doing RPG now. We finished our Spike Faller. We put that on itch, links in the description. Actually, it goes to Legend of Driftwood, but from there, you can find it. Click on my name. We'll keep, Actually, I'm fine with that. Let's export this, save as, we're going to call this one 3. Sprite 3, file, and then export as 3. Cool, cool. Let's click on new. Let's import that image. Let's zoom in. Click on this to get it selected as a source, but then remove it. Right click this and make this a blob. I'm just wondering how it's going to work. I don't know. I mean, I can never just know. I haven't used it enough to know exactly what it's going to look like in the engine. I can only just keep trying, and then maybe it turns out to be something that looks right. I can always manually put in like just this block or something too. Maybe I should get rid of the green. I guess if I auto tile it, you won't see the green border on it. Let's just hope the auto tile works right. Let's select the whole thing and then export this image, and we'll call this the third blob. We'll go into GMS2. And I'll add another tile set, because why not? I can do that. It's my game. I do what I want. So let's add a category. We're going to add group, and we're going to call this tile set images. So put this one in there. Put this one in there. Go right here. Create another sprite. Import the third one. Bada boom. Call this one S grass. Actually, this one isn't grass. This is going to be mountain. S mountain 01. TS 01. Even though I saved it as grass, it's fine. In my project is where the naming really matters. So inside of our tile sets, we'll create a new tile set. We'll call this TS mountain 01. And select our mountain tile sets. Let's go to auto tiling and try to do this whole field again. 16, we'll get this one, and then this one, and then this one, right there, and then that one, and then that, and then that, and then that one is actually this one. That one is this one. Right there is there. That is that. That one is this one. Then right here, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. I think I got it down. That part's confusing until you figure it out. Getting the auto tile. But like now it's easy, right? So on the walls, let's change the grass one to mountain. You know, it's not exactly what I wanted. However, I think it'll work for now. It serves the purpose as it looks more like something that you can't walk on. It's like, well, what is that? Is that supposed to be mountains? Doesn't look like there's much depth there. That's fine. You know what I could do with this is just put another layer on top of it, like some artwork, because we can have as many layers as we want, so that's cool. I'm thinking about my game, says Jasmine. I will play it one time over. When I find nothing bug related, I upload it. Yeah. That's why I haven't put up the majority of the projects that I've made, is because I'm like, I don't want to try to, like, sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to move on to something different, because it's not, when it becomes not fun and you, I don't know. We didn't name it again. Let's just go back and name it real quick. Not a big deal. Go here. We'll call it AT Mountains 01. I kind of went singular, didn't I? Mountain 01. That's fine. I'm trying to keep this project clean, good naming conventions, legibility. So with these two things, we can just set up a collision, and once again, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just put collision in here. How should I do that? I have a project where I've already done it, and then I've adapted it for. So Spikefaller will have gravity in it, which is different. But I do have another project, which I can open real quick. Controllers, characters. Here's my movement, my basic movement. This is not the best way to do movement, actually. Okay, this was not the one I actually used. Players. This is using bounding box and tile set collision. This is the one I wanted. I took 3 different tutorials and put them together to make what I have here. Don't need any of that. I'll need what's on the create and what's on the step. I'll need to make a collision layer 32, which is fine, or rename it, doesn't really matter. Press Control A, Control C. That's going to take everything in here. I won't need all this, actually. Lose condition, past time. We don't need that. O2 levels. What is this from? This is the movement from another project. I don't need that either. This is the text box layer. I don't need that either. I just need this bounding box info. So let's copy this. We bring this on the other. That's fine. Let's make a new object. Let's create an object. We're going to call it OPlayer. OPlayer. And then we'll make a create. And we'll say setup collisions. Pasting in here. Let's go ahead at the top, make a collision layer 32. Am I using 32 by 32? I'll probably set it to 16 then. Not that the name will matter. It's saying, you're not using this, you're not using this. This is the only place you recognize it. Yeah, I know that. Let's see. On the step, let's declare some temporary vars. Yep, this is the stuff I need. I don't need to keep the player. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, don't need any of this. Tutorial. I'll need the walk mode thing, so let's copy this. Paste that. Go scroll down until I see the walk mode toggle. You can see I brought this code in from the oxygen generator, from the, I don't even call, did I give it a name? Space Driftwood? No, that was the shooter. Driftbot. I actually gave it a name. I brought this code in from Driftbot and changed it up for this game. Instead, I copied everything and commented it out, so it's all messy. But hey, if I needed code from here, I could take it, so it's fine. I'm not gonna do that. Take this code. I'm just curious, real quick. Is this player 32 by 32? It is. Okay, so I'm going to make collision layer 16 and change the code. So in here, I'm going to rename it to collision layer 16, and inside here, when we create and define it, I'm going to say look for collision layer 16, and I'll have to change quite a few things, the math. So we're going to say plus 16. This would be, instead of 15, we have to say 31 here. Oh no, wait. 15. The collision is set up to 16 by 16 already. Or, yeah. It's already set up to 16 by 16. Why did it say 32? That must have just been a dumb naming convention. This is a particle effect for when I walk, which I don't need. We don't need to play a particle effect here. In fact, I'm going to clean it up and remove it. Just remove it. We don't need to play particle effect when we walk yet. If we want to do that, we can, but we don't need to yet. What other bugs? Nothing else sticking out? Yeah, plus 16, and then okay. We have to add a new sprite and a new tile set, actually. Layer tile map get ID, layer ID. So I need These are 32 by 32 boxes. Is that why I was having so many issues getting it just right? Anyway, let's just start with a 16 by 16 collision box. So make a new sprite. I don't know if the margin matters. And I'm just going to go with a red box. Oh wait, hold on. What I want to do is make it slightly see-through. Let's just put some alpha into it. Okay. There we go. That'll work. Make a new... oh no, wait. I have to change it. I have to make this different. It's got to be 32. I have to uncheck maintain aspect ratio. It's got to be 32 by 16. Hit apply. Hit OK. And of course now it's stretched it, so we've got to delete all this. We got starting with 0, so at 16, yeah, here we go. There we go. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, the first tile you use has to be... we're going to use it as a tile set. We need one tile that has a collision so we can see it. And this one has to be blank so that there's no collision. Simple. Now we add a tile set. And we'll call this TS collision. And we select this. It actually can go into tile set images. And that's all we have to do with that. On the collision layer, we select that as our tile set. And now, we should go like this. And these tiles shouldn't be walkable. Of course, we don't even have a player yet. There's we're missing so many things, it's the very beginning of the project. So I'm expecting a whole plethora of bugs, right? Or we don't even have a player sprite yet. Let's make a sprite for the player, guys. We got to do that now. So let's go new 16 by 16. Is that how big we're going to... yeah, one. Let's select something with some... I don't know. Let's get a palette. That'll work. Let's put on horizontal symmetry, so it makes a vertical line. And let's start with a guy or something. I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of chibied. Let's give him maybe some green armor. and some gray bottoms. Turn off symmetry here and just kind of go like this. I think he needs one dot for eyes because this is such a small res. You can get away with weird colors for eyes. Let's turn back the symmetry, or turn on the symmetry again. Why not? I don't know, what do you guys think? Looks like a lion guy. Let's give him blue eyes. I think that's our player. Let's save this as D&D player 01. And then we'll export this as a PNG. Let's make a new sprite. Import that. That's our dude. Alright, let's give his alignment middle center though. call it S player. Alright, now that we've got a player, let's go to objects and assign this object. I don't know if we need to make him persistent or not. We need to click solid so that its collision is being checked. I feel like I'm missing something else as far as like what I need for the collision system to work. Oh, let's go to instances. I'm sure it's going to crash. I'm positive it's going to crash. Actually, it's going to load the title screen and that's all that's going to happen. And the splash screen. In fact, let's turn off the splash screen for now. I'm going to go into configurations, options, main, Windows, installer, images. Let's uncheck use splash screen for now. Oh, here's the icon. It says D&D and it's got a log, a Driftwood log. Apply that, okay. So we don't need to see that every time. But what I need to do is with the draw text, it is persistent here. We'll make a step. Delete this second show sparkle effect thing. In fact, let's bring this down a hair and go 4 particle effects a second instead of. And we'll say if keyboard check press VK enter room go to. We could say go to next for now. It'll just go to the starting town. But it's persistent, so if we press enter again, it's going to try to go to next. So what we need to do is define some creation code, what we did in the last project. So we'll say, when this room is created, we'll say, let's make a data manager, a Danka manager. That's what I said, Dank manager. Data manager. Do I need to type manager? Let's just go data. Object data. Persistent. It just needs to be data. That'd be good. Whoa, what's happening? Project directory modified. Would you like to reload the resources or save? Save will only update the resources files that are currently held in memory and therefore may not restore some deleted or edited files. Room creation code.gml. Oh, maybe it's because I put something in there? Just save. It's fine. Store data, duh. That's what it does. Okay. So here what we're going to do is say current room. Did I want to camel case everything or do I want to capitalize? What I'll do is set current room to whatever room that we're in when this is instantiated. And it's going to be called as a persistent object inside of title. So I don't necessarily need to put the room creation code to current room right now, but later on when I go back to the title without closing the application, I'll need to reset what room we're in. So I'll say odata dot current room equals our title. And that's it. And the creation code for this room will say odata dot current room equals YT starting town, R starting town. It's not going to find that because I named the room T starting town. That's supposed to be R. It's a typo. There we go. It wants to give an error because it like updated, but if I close it and reopen it, it should be fine. Why is it red bar? Let me just retype it. Now it'll be able to be like, hey, that's an error, right? Tell me that's an error. Yo. Whatever. What about now? Is that an error? Why is it red bar? It's not supposed to be a red bar. That's a bug of how it's not refreshed right. It shouldn't matter. That's a graphical thing. OData dot current room equals. Oh, because this still says T starting town. Why does it still say T starting town? I renamed it. R starting town. Why is it changing that? Do you see this? Some weird bugs happening. Let me save the project and close it, actually. Let me just close it. Exit. Yep. Reload. It might have something to do with the number of projects I've opened and closed today. To be fair, I usually don't get any problems at all as far as like the engine. I very rarely encounter any crashes or anything like that. So let's open Driftwood Dragons. So let's try to rename this now. Are you kidding me? Why is it locking it to T starting town? This makes no sense. What is this crazy bug? Get out of town with this. I probably typed it right. I don't know what's freaking happening. Game Maker, why are you doing this? It's supposed to be our starting town. It's like, oh yeah, we don't know what that is. This is some graphic bug. Now if I say T starting, well, yeah, it knows what that is. I mean, simple to get around it is that, but that's stupid. I mean, I could delete the map and remake the map, but then I also wonder if I have, hold on, I got another idea. What if I just call it room start? It still locks it down to T starting town. Does it have something to do with the creation code being open? It's not letting me rename this map at all. R start. I'm gonna delete this map. It's triggering me. But then I have to do collision layer instances. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's bothering me. Let's delete it. By starting town, add a new room. I'm gonna call this room start. That one works. 900. Enable the viewports. Viewport 0 visible. 640, 360. 640, 360. Let's have it follow the player for now. Not a big deal, right? Because we already set up our tile sets and whatnot. I've never encountered that bug where it just will not let you rename something. Anyway, let's create a collision 16. I forgot what it was actually called. Let's open up the player. Collision layer 16. That seems a little redundant. What's the name of your layer? Collision layer. Whatever. And then we'll add a couple of tile sets. One called ground, and then another one called wall. For the wall layer, we selected mountain. And for the ground layer, we selected grass 2. And we've set up our auto tile already, not a big deal. Let's zoom in a little bit to see our camera. Draw the map. And then we can draw the walls on that with mountain. I mean, I guess it doesn't make sense to draw it like that. Just draw grass all over everything, right? Because this will be on top of it anyway. And then I can put this however I want. And then on the collision, I select this. We're going to have to try to walk into a collision box from every angle to make sure it doesn't throw us off the map. Because if there's the way the code is written is to place the sprite somewhere adjacent, but like if it's not set up perfectly, when it places you in a collision area of the next one, which places you in the next one, the next one, the next one. So every frame you're getting launched like 16 pixels, so you touch it and you boom, you get thrown off the map. Pin in 2000, how you doing? Give the man an applause. Alright, let's put the player on the map. We have no control. Oh yeah, we do have controls, I believe. It should be set to WASD. Okay, what do we have here? In the creation code, did I not put the data in the title screen? I did not. I did not! Okay, that's fine. What do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a blurry, messed up text. Gosh, the more GMS2 I use, though, the more I want to learn Godot better, or Godot. We have draw text. We have... Hello? What do we have here? That's draw text. This is... Wait, well, what is this one, then? We're on the instance layer. What is this particle layer? Did I put this? I put it on the bottom particle layer. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that, whatever that was. Draw text particle system. The data. I think that works better. So now we're calling those things to instantiate them. Title, and then the first start screen. It loads. We have our press enter. Press enter should go to next level. Walk mode is not set before reading it. Object player, if walk mode, yada yada yada. Okay. So on player we're saying if walk mode, bada bada boom. Where does walk mode set? So I have to set up walk mode. Let's just do let me look at the player again. It's probably on the create here. Where do I have walk mode? Okay, walk mode false. That's all that is. Let's just put it at the top. Try again. Press enter. Oh my god. Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen. Look at our beautiful RPG. We have a custom player sprite. We have custom tile sets. We have collision, tile set collision. Does anyone know why the text info and the layer info window overlap each other? Asked Peenan. I have no idea, but it's quite annoying and I wish they'd fix it. Hey, check that out. And the camera follows the player, but not the way we want the camera to follow the player. And you can see the collisions working, right? You can't walk on these tiles. You can't walk on these tiles where the collision's at. And it's working pixel perfect. I love it. Up, right, down, and even left. It doesn't throw me out of the game. It doesn't throw me off the screen. So it's working perfect. Of course, we can hide the red boxes. I was just wanted to check. And then we know that it's not the tile set that's causing the collision because there's no bit mask or anything. So you can just walk on these if there was no collision to signify that you couldn't. So let's fix it. Let's fix the camera. Let's make the map bigger. Oh my god. What is this? Why? Oh, I know why. This is kind of crazy. I love it. I'm going to have no animated sprites because I'll be able to do a lot. Like a bunch of custom sprites if I don't have to worry about animation. It'll just be like, yeah, I love it. Okay, let's fix the draw text. Now that I have got a data specifying what current room we're on, inside of this, our start creation code, let's go here. We can say, this is where it bugged out the room, but whatever. We can say odata.current room equals our start. So now when we're on this map, when this map is created, why does it go red? It doesn't do that over here. It just says our title. But for some reason, our start creation code, room start. Let me just see if if that causes it to break. No. It's fine. It's probably working. It's just something weird about this red bar. There's some bugs. The engine has bugs. Gosh. To be fair, every engine has bugs. In RPG Maker MV, you can break the sound engine in 5 seconds. You go into the thing and you say, play sound, a BGM, and you press play BGM, and you listen to it for like 2 or 3 seconds. You're like, I don't want to hear that. Stop. And then you go to play the next one. If you do that too fast, it just breaks. You have to reload the game for the sound engine to be reinitialized. So to be fair, every engine has got bugs. It's just, can you work around those bugs? Does it affect the gameplay? Does this red bar change anything? You know, does this text not being able to see clearly really change anything for you? You can still highlight and see, oh, player. So it's really like, how bad? What kind of bugs? Are they game-breaking bugs, or are they just kind of like inconveniencing bugs? Alright, so let's finish drawing this map. First of all, let's fix the camera, right? So we want the camera to follow the player with kind of mostly centered on the player with a few, I'd say 16 pixels of play. So what is half of 640 minus 16? We'll say minus 20 even. So let's go 620, that's 310. So our horizontal will be 310. This is 340 minus 20, or wait, 360 minus 20 is 340, divided by 2. So the camera should follow the player better now. There we go. So you can see that there's a little bit of play right here, right? We can go up and down a little bit without the camera moving, so it's not a complete lock on the player, but there's just a little area. And if you get outside this little area, the camera starts to move. So the camera stops for a second if you're going up or down, and then you switch directions. There's a little bit, and we'll play around with that number so that this feels about right. Okay, now that we can track what room we're in, we need to go to the draw text and say, hey, if you're in this room, draw that, and if you're not, then don't. So draw text, we can say if keyboard check, enter, portal sparkle, draw. Okay, same thing. So if odata.currentRoom equals our title, then home, tab, end, enter, squiggle. And I'll take this same bit of code for the draw and put that in here. Same thing. So it shouldn't draw the press enter unless we're on the title. And we'll see if it switches. Because if this doesn't work and it still shows the draw text over, or press enter over here, then we know that the creation code isn't working. But it is working. Even though it has the red bar, it doesn't actually break anything. It just looks like there's an error, but it doesn't. It doesn't actually cause a problem. Nice. Okay. So we've got the camera, we've got the draw text bug fixed. Who asked? Someone wanted me to allow the arrow keys. So that's easy. For our inputs, we just check our get inputs and we say if we're pressing A, we would go left. But what we can do is say or. So we do shift and the little backslash. So we can say or keyboard check VK left. Paste, and this would be D for right, so virtual keyboard right. Go in here, paste this. For W would be up, so virtual keyboard up, and then right here, paste virtual keyboard down. VK down. Let me save it. Wait, why is that not? Oh, I missed one of these. I think that's right now. Hit save, hit play. Good dough, my work here is done. Hey baby. So now I can press the arrow keys or WASD, and they work the same. In fact, you can use both. If you hold W and right, then it stops you in your tracks, and if you press S, D, and left, it stops you. And they don't like double up each other because it's checking if you have either or. So A and D at the same time will stop you, the same as left and right will stop you, the same as A and right will stop you, the same as D and left will stop you. Up and down, or W and down, S and up, or W and S, all those will stop you. So you can control with your right hand movement or your left hand movement, whatever you want. Got them. Cool. So what's next? Fix the map, update the map a little bit, finish the collisions on this little area, or just basically draw the ground level of the map. So let's go to our start map. Let's go to the ground. Let's turn off the walls for now. And essentially, we're just going to put grass on everything, right? And we can manually make brushes. So let's go in here and make some brushes. Now what are brushes? They're like little stamps. So if I want to take these three, I'll put on editing mode, and then I'll go like this. Oh gosh, let me put the size down to 1. Boom. And then say these three. If I want this, it can be there. What else is there? As far as like commonly used ones, and that's that. I mean, like multiples. I think that's good. Those three are good stamps for brushes. So now we'll zoom in a little bit and add a little bit of detail to where we don't want to have. So we turn off editing mode, and now it lets us select. Oh, I messed up. That's all one. That's not what I want. Go to editing mode. Let's fix it. How does it not do the selecty thing? Oh gosh. Turn off editing mode. Turn on editing mode. That was a bug. Okay. There. And then this, but not touching. And then this, where's it at? This one, but not touching. And then turn off editing mode. Now I can select either of these and just go like this. And put down some, basically like, deco, I suppose is what it is. Does this have a border on it? Why does it do that? It has a transparent border, doesn't it? It shows it like that. Well, that's weird. It's not what I want. Yeah, there's transparency on these. So for this grass tile, I should override it and have no transparency, right? The edges should have no transparency. Yeah, that's what's got to happen. Let's go here and go like this. And save. File, save as. Was this one too? I don't want to overwrite the wrong one. Yeah, this was 2. Okay. Yeah, overwrite it. And then we're going to export this, same thing, overwrite it. That's unfortunate that I gotta do this again, but it's fine. It should be the same. If I just change the graphic, it should store it, right? Right? Oh my god, right? Let's import this one again. No transparency this time. Save that as a source, delete it, blob this, select this. Yeah, on your ground level, your base ground level is where you don't need transparency. You want them all to connect so that they look good. You can use them like that. Let's take this and export the image as this one and just overwrite it. Yep. And then inside of resources, let's edit this tile set and import. Wait, what? Oh no, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, but not yet. the image first. Right here. Is this such a tile set? No. Sprites, tile set images. This one, jeez Louise. Yes, now just re-import. This one. Okay, same thing, but we got rid of the transparency. Boom, now update this, edit this, yada yada yada, use this one. It automatically updated. Now it should just get rid of the transparency completely, and this should be, yeah, now there it is. So it doesn't have that little invisible barrier or whatever, or like, oh gosh. So I can put this like some places. It's not necessarily what I'm trying to get. You know what I'll do is not have it like this. Let me, I guess this is the only one that actually kind of fits. These other ones do not. They do not fit. Let's go to the libraries and just put the regular grass. I mean, one of these here and there won't look bad. But what you can do is create another tile set above the ground that's got like whatever images you want and actually put grass tiles on it. And we'll do that. You forgot to drop the mic. What mic's heavy? I am 180 pounds. I guess that's not too heavy. It's probably just about right. Alright, we've got our map drawn. I don't want to add any details on the basic grass level. We'll use this as an auto tile base level, and then I could put like water on top of it, and weeds on top of it, and like bushes and trees on top of that, etc. We'll have to draw those or find those. OpenGameArt.org would be good. So let's go ahead and re-enable the mountainside, the wall. Go to the room editor and get back to drawing some mountains, I suppose. There we go. Gonna be kind of basic, right? We have grass and mountains right now, but we have a playing character that can walk around a map, and I'm kind of cool with that right now. And we can do the same thing with trees. We can sort of make one look like trees. Kind of a big map, but I like that. Let the player move around quickly through a bigger map instead of slowly through a smaller map. Gonna need a lot of detailing later on. Or you know what I could do right here? Raise this up. I said please raise this up. Okay. What I could do right here is put like a town. Like this is 2 exits out of the town. Why not? That'll work. Now let's just put some collision in here. Wait, I can select a line tool. That makes it easier. That way I don't have to draw perfect lines, because if I go, oh, I mess up, I just bring it back on down. Easy. I also want to get the corners, just to make sure that you can't, like, glitch through a corner. Collision should be good. If the player moves too fast, it might be able to glitch through, but I don't plan to give, like, speed boosts. It's not a platformer, really. I guess we can kind of try to work on the battle eventually. Let's get a basic town. Start making a menu for like the player, like so when the player hits like escape or something, they can open up a menu and look at stuff. They can look at their stats and what they've got, and it's just going to be one party member. That's the scope. I want it to be. This is not a huge epic RPG. This is going to be a few levels or something. More or less learning how to design some systems, right? How to make it work. Like, how do you do it from scratch? A lot of it's artwork. It's just making artwork. I highly recommend you get a sprite. Tile setter, I'm not 100% recommending. I will say if you use it the way I use it, it's worth getting. But if you're not going to be making a lot of tile sets, I don't know, it's like 15 bucks. So we'll put a town right here. Like eventually we'll get more stuff being drawn. Trees, bushes, shrubs, and then buildings, and then other players. Not that you would play as other characters, but like interactable. We need to do a text, draw text, text pop-up box. Let me write that down. Text pop-up box system thing. So custom sound effects, background music will be at the end. We're not going to do grid movement. Forget that idea. Lower scope and partner. We'll put some tutorials in. We got our naming convention set up. So save load system, dice rolling mechanics, a text pop-up box, and lots of art and sound effects and stuff. That's what we got to do. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm super excited. We finished a project. Will you do an inventory system? Obviously. It's an RPG, right? So we've got our, okay, hold on. Let's get the full glory and turn off the collision so that it just looks like it's going to look like. So the player will be able to play it in this screen, but they're probably going to want a full screen, which it does 16:9 aspect ratio perfectly. So, you know, it works. I don't see a big problem with it. Obviously, the artwork is going to be the weakest point of this project, but that's okay, right? We're learning. I'll probably get better at everything I'm working on. I'll get better at making sprites, better at making tile sets, better at making art, better at coding, better at general game design by making a game. We've got a big open map here. This is where the town will be, our starting town. The player will walk around, and I don't know how I want to handle the battle system yet. I don't know if I want to do like random encounter, and then you're in battle, and you have to like take turns or something. I kind of want to do something like that, actually. So there's like a battle scene, and then you get into a battle. Like, really? Random encounters at this day and age? Of course. Random encounters will never die. Yeah, I want to do an inventory system. This is where I'm going to end the live stream for today. Thank you guys for coming to the live stream. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you're looking forward to Driftwood Dragons, my corny, low art style RPG using Game Maker Studio 2. And I'll be watching some tutorials off camera and trying to find the right combination of code to put in. and then kind of wing it on the fly during the live streams and jury rig everything together to make it work. But I'm happy with today's progress. We went from last night I started a brand new project, and all I did was create a icon, a splash screen, a title screen, imported my particle system, which we haven't actually used yet, and that was pretty much it. So today we did all of this. We imported our collision, tile-based collision system. We created the player sprite. We created 3 tile sets, of which we're using 2 of them right now. But I also have a bunch I already made that I can just throw in. So yeah, that's another thing. As you make more and more projects, you're going to eventually accumulate a lot of resources that you can use in future projects. So anyway, I do have like this player kind of like when he's moving left and down or left and up, it looks like it's shaking a little bit. Sometimes, when the camera's moving, like this, hold up. Do you see that? Okay, face going left, it looks smooth, 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 but left and up, he's having a seizure. Down right, no problem. Up right, no problem. Down left, okay. So it's down left and up left. The guy has a seizure, and I don't understand why. It's weird. But only when it's the camera, like right here he doesn't. Right here he doesn't because the camera's not moving as well. So, but over here, you'll see seizure time, seizure time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. Really appreciate it. Please go download my games on itch. And if you'd like to support what I do, you can donate through itch or you can back me on patreon.com/driftwoodgaming. Like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and come hang out on Discord. I'd love to talk with you guys on Discord. Share your stuff. I want to see what you guys are doing. And have fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Bye, guys. Thank you, Jeremiah Black, for coming. Joni Spam, appreciate it. Jasmine, always a pleasure. Doc Weeze, take care. Tease Jams, I love you, baby. Peenan 2000, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Cool Sora, Green Best Guy's cousin, yep, it is. Thank you for coming to the stream. Volpe, always a pleasure, my dude. Lo-Fi is good too. Yep, that's what I've been listening to, some Lo-Fi. Chill Step's good. Everybody else who I didn't see, Super Boss Jason 1, thank you so much. Nixon. Nixonst. Yeah. Ekaterina. Slammy. Yeah, get at me, Slammy. Private message me if you have any questions about the game or whatever your speed running time is at. Let me know before you go live or when you're live because I'd love to watch you play the game and speed run it. Adrian, thank you so much for coming. Everybody else, I gotta go, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.